What is happening, everybody? My name is Bobby Sampson. I am joined by the man, the master of the force, not even Smokey the Bear, and who's a good guy bear, right?
Yes,
Not even he has anything on the true professor, the real professor. Dare I say, the professor and the dean of professional wrestling, Professor Bear. How are you, brother?
I I'm doing good. It's amazing when you get some sleep and you can process things, how you relook at stuff and get a different kind of take on it.
Absolutely. So first, I got to ask you, what is the sleep you speak of? Because I don't know it that well. Like I've heard of sleep. What is it good?
It can be. I've gotten 2 days worth of it from where I hadn't been sleeping well. I have bouts where I can't sleep at night.
Right.
I stay up, take naps. Then my whole week is messed up.
I believe that, brother, man. I believe that. All right. So WrestleMania is done. 42 is in the back view mirror. Thank God. And that's weird to say, but I'm glad this is over because the show itself was the show. But I think what I found exhausting was everything leading up to it. And I'll be honest, man, there were moments where I wish I was just a fan on the outside looking in and not having to do what we do. Like, I think the best part of WrestleMania for me personally was being not in the same room with friends, but being with like-minded people. And this is where one of those times where technology really makes me happy, like it
Yeah.
worked in that favor. That's what I'm trying to get at. But night one, night two, your thoughts. Let's just brief, like nothing
Brief.
deep.
Um, it is what has become expected with TKO. That after being able to think about it, replay some stuff in my mind. This is just where WWE has become now, unfortunately.
Right, right. But overall, though, like, I mean, I think we were both in agreement that night one was basically a throwaway in a lot of ways. Not to take anything away from the talent, not to take anything away from the people that were out there, because that was their moment. That was their WrestleMania. We got to keep that in mind, how special that is for those athletes to be out there. No more so than what we saw with CM Punk last night with the entrance and everything. I mean, for a minute there, all the shit that we talk about Phil and all the crap that people say about him, in that moment, I saw it all play in front of my eyes like they did the intro, like
Right.
he was an asshole. He is an asshole. He has a different way of thinking. And that kind of mentality is something that I think we need more in the world of in terms of getting ahead because you know what I mean. Like I'm not saying it's a good thing if we can measure it. Like I think he's got it down to a science now in terms of his attitude and everything, but he can still be that hard ass if he has to be. And
Yeah.
just seeing that moment for him, I was really happy for him. I really am. Okay. Take away all the bad stuff, the man in the ring, separate the man outside of the ring to the man inside of the ring. That was his moment. He earned
Yeah.
that spot, right?
Right.
Everything he's gone through.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with that.
And I say that because he was not a Nepo baby. Okay. Him and John Cena are two guys that had no family in the business. These are two guys that made huge names for themselves on their own, crafting carving their own path, literally. Right. Like, granted, Randy's doing great, Cody's great, the whole Samoan dynasty is great. But how many of those guys dig the ditches, dig the roads, pave the roads for those other, guys to come up and
That,
have the opportunities, right? Like Dom never tasted the indies. He started on the main roster, let alone NXT, right? And that's a success story in itself because he was able to elevate himself and we're not complaining about him as much as people were at one point. but you can't take away what CM Punk and John Cena have achieved, and that's what makes them special. More so, in my opinion, in some ways, than Roman, than Randy, than Cody.
And I agree with you to an extent
Sure.
because I look at it like this. Yes, you have a lot of wrestlers who have family in the business and get the label, well, they're getting help, their name value, this, that, and other. But we never talk about the wrestlers who have name values, family that don't make it.
No, and
Because
yeah. Sorry, right.
no, and what I was going to say is just because of a name you have doesn't mean you get to slide. It means you have to work harder. And a lot of people will disagree with me, but when your father is a Dusty Rhodes or Ric Flair, they're iconic. So you have to bring not just what they brought, you have to bring something more. You have to work harder because just because you haven't, people are going to try you because of who your name is and who your family is. They're not going to they're not going to make it easy on you.
No, no,
So,
and I completely agree with you, Baron. That shows you why so few of second, third generation guys and girls make it to where they make it. And I'm
right,
taking nothing away from Randy and any of those guys. They had to work extra hard, right? In the case of Roman Reigns, he probably had to work harder than anyone else because the name connections. I mean, I forget the Wild Samoans. Let's just look at modern history.
right.
Yokozuna, Yokozuna, Umanga, you know what I mean? Like, those were hard acts to follow, especially Yoko, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
once he pulled the curtain back and realized he isn't Japanese and whatnot, you see that. And you know what? In that case, him being Yokozuna probably made it easier for him because there was no lineage connected to him, right? So,
And,
so from that perspective, yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. But look, WrestleMania happened. Night two was WrestleMania. I've said it for years, ever since this 2 day thing started. Sunday night will always be WrestleMania. Saturday night, yeah, you know what? I'll eat some chips and have some pop. But Sunday night's the night where you make the wings and you make the onion rings and you make the seven bean dip. You know what I mean? I treat it like a Super Bowl Sunday. And WrestleMania Sunday was WrestleMania. It truly was, right? But it was an average WrestleMania. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't bad or anything. I think Roman and Punk did a great match. I think they did. The storytelling was phenomenal. I went back and watched it after, and you look at the parallels. Like, I don't know how much they stole from Roman and Undertaker, because that ending was very similar to the Roman Undertaker kind of ending. Like Roman exhausted him, and Undertaker wouldn't give up. Roman exhausted Punk, and Punk wouldn't give up till the end. Till he had nothing left. He used everything he had. Both of them. You watch it in parallel. If you watch a split screen like we are, it,
right.
it played out the same way. So it was a great story. I loved it. I love the fact there were no run-ins. I love the fact there was no blunder. And we're looking at Inoba right away. They started hyping it up a little bit on the post show.
I
So
think my the match was good. But I would say this, and no disrespect to Punk or Roman, no disrespect to any of the athletes. But when you have simple wrestling, and most of night one and night two was simple wrestling,
yeah,
it was cookie cutter, bam, bam, bam. It just fell into the process.
right.
Then I always remember this part of things. When no matter how good or bad your show is, it matters how you leave the audience.
Right.
It's that last show that really sets your tone for any. pay-per-view
Right.
or any show.
Right.
Was it that the match was that good, or was it the whole card was okay?
Well, I mean, I think I said this during the watch long. It's like, okay, exactly what you said. It's like, okay, for Saturday night we ate McDonald's, but then we went to Morton's on Sunday night. Now, was Morton's that good that day, or did it taste extra special because of the McDonald's we ate? You know, it's kind of like eating McDonald's after a camping trip. The shit tastes so good, right? I get it.
And,
I get it. I get it.
and again, I think um, I think more of we are talking about other things besides what we should be talking about
Right.
for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I hear more of, damn, all these long ass commercials. Oh, damn, the matches, none of them went long. You had you had a total of 12 matches, basically,
Yeah.
and the longest one was Roman and Punk.
Yeah.
Now, again, that's cool, but everything seemed rushed. It didn't seem like it had any substance. And when I watch wrestling, I want to be invested. And none of the matches made me feel invested, except now the only one, and it's because I called it, was we were talking about Oval and Brock.
Yeah.
It's going to be short. I knew it was going to be short. Brock is the master of good short tellings.
Less is
So,
more.
yes. So I didn't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have all this time, I was watching another show, wrap up show, and they said night one had 30, I think 36% of wrestling throughout the entire night, and night two had 37%.
Well, that's nitpicking.
That well, no, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
I can understand they do sports entertainment, and that's fine. But damn it, remember in that sports entertaining, there's wrestling. I watch wrestling for wrestling,
Yeah.
and when I get more commercials than I do wrestling, that's a problem.
No,
When I
100%.
I and again, I understand WWE's been this way quite a while, but this was the impetus for me.
Now you talk about
This is WrestleMania.
yeah.
This everybody goes out, bust their ass to give it a sighting, talk about. And I was more talking about the commercials, how much the seats cost, how much it costs to park. $200 for parking.
Right. Now, Bear, you said something really interesting. You talked about the audience. And this is a segue into what I was going to mention and talk about next. And I told you about it a little bit, but I wanted to kind of bring you in cold so I could get your instant reaction to what I'm about to say. As wrestling fans, we should not be talking about TKO. As UFC fans, we should not be talking about TKO. TKO is the parent company. The parent company is someone that should not be in our. I'm not saying it, we shouldn't, but it shouldn't be a topic of contention for wrestling fans to talk about the parent company and what the parent company is and isn't doing. This, for me, is the story coming out of it. It's not what Roman's going to say tonight. It's not what is going to play out on Friday night. Why Randy TKO'd Pat McAfee? Why he became unhinged? Why did the match end the way it did? They probably have an answer for it. We just don't know it, but we're going to complain and argue and be upset until we see it. Okay. No, most times than not, a lot of us are left eating crow once we see what the full plan is. right? And then we're like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. Okay, it makes sense. TKO has a big task at hand, in my opinion, and that task is to bring us fans back into the fold. We've talked about TKO's love for the casual fan, and the casual fan you hope to morph into a regular fan. If you're alienating your regular fans right now and you're trying to bring in new regular fans, they need to fix the problems from their perspective. They need to stay out of the booking room. They need to stay out of all of that. Okay. We blame Triple H a lot, and he has to hold some of that responsibility 100%. Okay. I think TKO getting involved in the last 6, 7 months where everything has gone shit for Hunter is a big proponent of that reason. Let's not forget it. TKO needs to focus on TKO and let WWE do its thing. They need to understand that they can't be greedy like they have been, right? They couldn't sell out WrestleMania. They can't sell out UFC pay-per-views anymore. I said this before we even ever started this show, Bear. Like they need to get back to what it is. And I think that's the biggest problem here right now. Would you agree
So
or disagree?
I agree wholeheartedly, and I will put it to you like this. What's the best thing about a silent partner?
They're silent.
Exactly. TKO needs to shut the hell up, get the hell out of the way, because let's be very, very, very clear. WWE has been doing this hell of a lot longer than y'all been in business.
Yeah.
So let them do what they're gonna do, and you can sit back and collect the spoils of it. Stop sticking your nose and trying to change a formula that's worked all this time.
Well, the problem with TKO, they care more about the casual fan, right? They care more about the top line, and the main,
The
than
bottom
the
dollar.
mainstream fans. They care more about celebrities. They care more about influencers, right? They may not care for the hardcore fans now, but they will have to, because if they're trying to make new hardcore fans, they're going to lose the ones that they have, and the ones coming in, what is there to make them want to stick around? And it's not the programming I'm talking about; it's the financials. We're living in a horrible time across the board. Like it's weird for me to say that. I think briefly, it's instantaneous. It's not a long thought. But do I really want to drive there, considering how much gas is? There shouldn't be a thought in my head. I shouldn't have to think about that. I'm not saying I'm a rich man, Bear. I'm just saying these are thoughts that I shouldn't have in my head, but they're there. And then when it comes to the stuff that I love, I can't justify spending the money that's out there. This is 2 times that WrestleMania was very close to me, but I just couldn't go.
Well, and I I say it like this. TKO don't care about the new fans. TKO don't care about the influencers. What TKO is concerned about is the bottom line, which is money.
Yeah,
And yes, and I definitely understood where you were saying with it, but honestly, they could give a rat's ass if the casual fans watch it, the long time fans watch it, as long as they're getting their money. And you can see by how they up prices that they do not care. That's why now it's going to, oh, we're gonna bring the prices down. After this, we're gonna bring the prices down. You should never have to, when you get to a point when your fan base is about to revolt on you, you have a problem,
yeah,
a serious problem.
yeah,
Because again, like most people say, if you are a fan of wrestling, you're a fan of wrestling. You
yeah.
will put you would you don't mind sacrificing certain things because your love of wrestling. But when it comes to a point where you now this just for you, one ticket is almost a damn new car down payment. You're sitting there trying to think, okay, I got mortgage, I got to get food,
Car
uh,
payments,
yeah, I got
insurance.
you all this stuff. So how can I? Which and my wife, her hours got cut. They're talking about more layoffs at the job. You
Right,
no overtime, all
right.
this stuff, and I want
Real
to,
stuff. Real life. Real life.
yes, and I want to escape that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
real
And we all
life,
do.
but real life, but they don't want you to escape. They want your money. They
No,
want,
100%. And Barry, I'll state straight up. Real life is real life, and that's okay. And that's what we live in, and we do the best that we possibly can, right? I
right.
have proven to myself time and time again that I can do anything that I need to get done, right? I'm a firm believer of this simple philosophy in life. I'm not bothered by the things that I don't have, even though I wish I had them. I focus on the things I have and do the best I can with those things. You know what I mean? Uh, it's a hard road to go down sometimes. It truly is. It's like when you see people who don't do anything and get everything,
Yes.
that's a hard pill to swallow, but I've gotten past that in life. I don't care anymore because I figure I'm just going to keep doing what I know is right and try to be the best I can. And if the big man upstairs wants to give me something, he will. Right?
Exactly.
I think that's the problem with a lot of people. We look to the big guy upstairs and we expect him to do things for us, but people, I know it's a completely different tangent than what we talk about, but guys and girls, listen very simply. He is listening to you and he's willing to give you everything, but he wants you to do the work. All right. Nothing is free, not even
Nothing.
from him. All right.
Nothing.
A long time ago, I thought I saw some free titty, but no, it wasn't free. You know, eventually that titty cost me. But you know what I
Hey,
mean? There's no
it,
such thing as free titty. If you go to the peeler bar and you think you're seeing free titty, no. How much did you spend for drinks and to get in?
yep.
Just say,
It,
just say. Simple
and,
philosophy on
and
life.
and just this has been talking to some people, and you know what the name that was going around in WrestleMania, they changed the name from WrestleMania to Commercial Mania.
Well, look, here's the deal, and I'm going to tell you why that's happening. And I said this to you guys in the watch along, right? Not the, I don't know. We did it yesterday, but I know Saturday I brought it up. Okay, when
Uh-huh.
and again, we're coming back to TKO. All of these problems revolve around this one entity, and everything else that's a problem is a direct stem of that. Like if you look at the roots, every problem in WWE can be tracked back to that main vein of TKO. Okay. Look, the problem with it is this the deal they signed with ESPN, the deal they signed with Paramount, we're talking billions of dollars here. Look at the amount of programming they're actually putting on ESPN. Okay. 12 pay per views a year. That's it. There's nothing else that they're airing. They're not airing any other reality shows. They're not airing any other things. The main content is those 12 shows. The same thing over at Paramount with UFC. $7 billion deal for 7 years. There's not $1 billion worth of content that company puts out every year. And what they've done to UFC is they've watered it down to the point where the matches aren't appealing anymore. That's the one thing UFC and Dana White always stood by was we're different because we give you the matches you want. We give you the top quality matches. And they did that up until 2 years ago. Now they're running a fight night every week. They have a pay-per-view every 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. Everything else in between. Dude, 327 was a great show, but on paper, it looked watered down. because that's what they've done. They just want to put out, put out. There's no way they're going to make their money back without the ads. All right. And the only reason Netflix is showing ads, and their ads are all in house in Canada, anyways, right? We might
Right.
get something local, like a local company advertisement for the most part. It's just previews of all the shows coming up on Netflix. And I didn't have a problem with it because of where I was at the time. That gave me an opportunity to step out, check on things, and come
Right.
back. Right. So for me, it worked out. I didn't feel it. Maybe if I had nothing to do but just to sit there, I would have felt it. But I was amongst friends and we were talking the whole time.
Exactly.
So I didn't feel it. Right. So, from that perspective, maybe that's why I'm not, using that as a talking point for myself. But there's no way TKO is or Paramount or ESPN will make their money back on these deals.
Oh
They
yeah.
lost money. They're losing money hand over fist.
That's what that and I think you said this. I can't wait until the wrestlers come out branded. Thank you for supporting Roman Reigns by the Marriott.
They've already done matches. This match is presented by Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or this match is presented by Twix. Okay, I get that, and I personally don't have an issue with it for the fact that I grew up watching European football. Okay, so for me, advertisements were always on those jerseys. I would buy my team's jersey based on the sponsor of that time because that logo was cool, right?
Right.
Liverpool, the Carlsberg logo, you can't beat that. That's just a beautiful looking jersey, right? And then that's what I loved about the soccer jerseys. You could promote the brands that you like, and that's what it is. And we're in that world now where they have to make their money back, and this is just the world that we live in, right? Advertising on the mat, it's everywhere else. It just wrestling was the last place to ever have it happen. It's like baseball. I love baseball. You know how big of a baseball guy I am, right? And I'm a purist. I don't like change in the game because the game's perfect. But now finally we're getting instant replay in baseball, and it's working. It's okay. I had a problem with it in the beginning, thinking it's going to slow everything down, but no, it's quick, it's efficient, it's working, and it's needed. I'm okay with it, right? But this is just the world that we live in, man. We live in a commercial world, and people are writing checks and making deals that they know they can't cash, and they know they're not going to make their money back on, but it feels good in the moment. Like Paramount was duped by TKO, and Paramount duped ESPN. ESPN, after this deal is done, will never touch wrestling again.
And again, I can't. It's not. I can blame them. And like you said, like the advertisement on the mat, I could care less about. Just it's not like it affects me. It's just different.
But the only
Okay.
thing I think they need to do with that is make it better so it's not hurting the performers, because I think a lot of injuries came off of that mat. The rug burn that some of these guys and girls came out with, like,
Yeah.
that shouldn't be happening. They need to do a better job of that. Your top tier company, do something.
And, and what you saying, it made me think of the Rhea Ripley Jade Cargill match.
Yeah.
They did nothing different than they did on SmackDown.
No.
And that's the problem. If you're gonna give me SmackDown Raw quality type matches, then what the hell do I need to watch WrestleMania for?
Well,
And again, this is no shot at any of the performers, but when you, I mean, and that's what a lot of people felt. It was, look, even the Oba and Brock thing, for all the fighting they did on Raw, they had a Raw match. And again,
no, I
I
get it. I get
again,
it. It was Raw, SmackDown present WrestleMania. I get it. And
yes,
I get that, but we're gonna get those shows from time to time. But I mean, I sound like a broken record because I've been saying it all weekend. We got to keep in mind how plagued this fucking show was, man.
No,
Right? Like it was just plagued. It was plagued.
yeah,
It never got off to a good start. It never had a positive vibe attached to it.
yes, but there's no excuse.
No, there isn't,
Oh,
Bear. There isn't. There isn't. I'm not disagreeing with you. There is
no,
no excuse.
no, and here's what I think that took me completely out of it. When I'm watching these matches, everything is Raw, SmackDown adjacent. Like, let's say, and the reason I keep back going to Rhea and
It's a
Jade
good
is
example. It's a good example.
yes, everything they did, it told the story. Well, it told the same story. Then when we get to the final payoff, it was the same story as the buildup. It'd have been different. Say if they wouldn't have let EO help her anytime. That and EO came out, that would have been different. That would have been, oh wow, EO, all right. The tag team is still together, love each other. But hell, they've been doing it for 3 weeks now.
Well, she kept
Okay.
saving her. She kept saving her. I understand that. And that comes down to the writing room. Okay. They've replaced most of the writers, and most of these people, I guarantee, and I don't know this, but I'm pretty safe to believe that none of them have any wrestling knowledge or how to write a wrestling show. Right. So the people that know wrestling, you don't want them there. All right.
Yep.
Everyone shits on
Blame
the
Road
guys.
Dogg.
Huh? Can't blame Road Dogg, right? The people who know wrestling and understand the psychology, this is the thing. A lot of the people that are in the rooms now don't understand psychology. Okay. They can write a show, but they don't understand wrestling psychology, right? We're the last generation that truly understands psychology, man. There might be some hardcore guys in the millennials and maybe a few in the zillennials, in the Z's, in the M's. But us Xers are the last generation of wrestling fans that understand ring psychology and look for it. And I think that's what bothers us subconsciously is the fact that we have that psychology part intertwined in our mind without even realizing. It's like shifting, right? If you know how to
Yeah,
drive manual, you start shifting without even having to listen to the engine, without having to look over at your odometer to know if you've hit 3,000 RPM or not. It just becomes natural. You just start shifting. Your music could be at 30, not even hearing the engine, and you just know, right?
exactly.
And we're the same way. And I think this is where a lot of us older wrestling fans and some of the younger ones are perturbed and don't understand it because, just like you said, the one good thing they did in that feud was that Rhea never touched her. She never got her hands on her. She never gave a receipt throughout the whole buildup, right? Yet
Right,
Jade got her so many times, herself as well, right?
right.
Uh, so from that perspective, that was great. So I was, that anticipation of Rhea finally getting her hands on her. They could have held off Io, but I also believe they were scrambling because there were so many other factors going into Io's appearance at WrestleMania that they were holding out on because of injuries and this and that. Are we going to go this direction with Io? What are we going to do with Io? Blah, blah, blah. Right? I mean, last year she was WWE champion.
Yeah, Jade and I mean not Jade, be Rhea.
Bianca and
Yeah,
Rhea, right?
yeah,
Now she's a run-in. Last year, Tiffany Stratton, granted injuries, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I get it. Okay. It was too late for her to get a build going for WrestleMania, as in the case of Zack Ryder, as in the case of a few other talents that people are upset that they're not getting a push, they're not getting that. Well, it's WrestleMania season. They joined the company at the worst possible time. So now I say reset's done, new day, new year of wrestling. Let's see what they do with Matt Cardona. Let's see what they do with Io. Let's see what they're going to do now because now and Tiffany because now the stage is set, everything's reset. Outside of our leftover pay-per-view backlash, as I quaintly said it yesterday, you know, backlash is that last show of the this year. consider it the leftover turkey, the leftover snacks, and treats that are left after the holiday season. That's what we're gonna get a backlash, right?
Right.
Um, but let's see what they do. Like, I'm optimistic because I love wrestling. I'm not
Uh,
saying I love WWE. I'm not saying I love AEW. I love wrestling. Like, I love baseball. I don't have to watch the Cubs. I don't have to watch the Mariners. I can just sit down and watch a game, right? And I look at
right.
wrestling the same way. So,
And and I agree with you wholeheartedly. You know I love wrestling,
yeah,
but I never thought it would be to the point that, oh, I can just catch WrestleMania Monday or Tuesday down the week. I got better things to do. I don't need to
but
watch
you
it.
know what that is, though, Bear? That's just a convenience thing, and we're all victim of it, right? Like, we may love something, but if we know that we can do this instead and know that it's there waiting for us, it's a different. That's just how this generation works. Because, Bear, keep in mind, man, if we didn't watch it live, we missed it, right? There wasn't YouTube for the most part of our fandom.
Well, exactly. And our YouTube was waiting 6 to 8 weeks for the videotape to come out. So
Exactly. If you missed it, you would have to wait, and chances are, by the time it came out, you would have to wait another 2 3 weeks because some asshole got there before you and
that's
rented it,
it.
right?
And
So
won't bring it back like they're supposed to.
exactly, right? And then before you know it, you're on a waiting list for this video, and that's how we grew up, and that's how we consume wrestling. Even to this day, Barry, even though that I know I can go back and watch it on Netflix later on and things like that, I still try to be in front of that TV at, I guess, 8 5 p.m. Monday nights, right?
Well, but see that's my point, and I understand what you're saying that we have that convenience. But as for me, not being a casual fan, die hard, anything comes up, it got to be super more important than wrestling.
But
It's
that's how
like
our minds are conditioned, though. But the younger
my,
generations don't know any
if
different.
exactly, hey, unless it's an emergency, I'm watching my wrestling. Now the bar has dropped. It don't have to be emergency. Maybe the wife just, hey babe, we hadn't ate dinner together in a week. Okay, babe, you know what? I can catch WrestleMania tomorrow or whatever.
There was
The
probably a time in our lives where the girl walked out of the room wearing the beautiful negligee, and we're like, no, no, I got to watch wrestling first. I'll come
exactly
back later. Now we're
right.
kind of thinking, well, negligee wrestling.
Exactly. Oh,
But
you know
I
what?
get it.
I got to go walk the dog.
Yeah,
I just catch wrestle, and
yeah.
and that's one thing. The bar has came down because of what they have put out. Again, I know wrestling changes. I know it's going to have its elevation. It's going to have its ebb and flows, up and down. But just for that to be a WrestleMania, I felt like was a slap in the face of wrestling fans. And 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 I shouldn't say this because I know this keeps the AEW haters and the WWE haters, it keeps them going. But this is a reason why I generally watch AEW because at least I know I'm going to get more wrestling than commercials.
No, I get that, and I get that completely, Baron. But you look at the two companies, completely different models. Like, I mean, I know they're wrestling companies, but they are legitimately apples and oranges in the same industry. Okay,
Right.
they're not even different kind of apples; they're apples and oranges, right?
Yes.
Like, if
Yes.
you say, okay, WWE is a Gala Apple, and TNA is a Granny Smith, and but honestly, those two entities are night and day,
And
right?
and and that's probably why. Well, it ain't no probably. That's the reason why I catch myself watching more AEW than WWF because
Right.
I know I'm going to see the wrestling style that
You like,
appeals.
you appreciate. I get that. But you know what, though, man? Regardless of what WWE does, I'm going to be that glutton for punishment. I'm going to be that guy with no pants on in the middle of winter. but still watching WWE, right?
I get
I've just come too far in my life. I thought about it. Think about it, man. I'm 9 years old at the first WrestleMania. If I haven't stopped now,
yeah, and
I can't turn it off. I'm afraid. I'm like that guy at the casino at the slot machine who's been working it for 15, for 2 hours. Now I'm afraid to get up because I'm afraid the person who sits down after me is going to get that, you know?
oh
And,
yeah,
but look, Bear, we're not even talking about WrestleMania. That just shows what it's all about. And look, WrestleMania was okay. I'm okay with it. It was fine. Was it the greatest? No, but there have been other WrestleManias that have been duds too. Okay, so I'm gonna take it as that. It was okay. Let's hope next year's better. That's what I'm holding out for. Now I want to see what they do. They got big problems, man, and if they can't open their eyes to it, then I know something's truly wrong, right? Because it's right there in black and white, and it's across all the entities. Like I said, and I'll say it again with more determination. Wrestling fans should not have to be talking or thinking about the parent company. No, we the name TKO should not be coming out in our interviews. The name TKO should not be brought up in our podcast. But it is because it's come to a head. This plan has failed. This ambition has failed completely. Okay, there's we're starting to see more and more how involved they are into the day-to-day business where they don't need to be involved. They don't need to focus on, oh, we're going to bring out McAfee because it's going to bring ratings. No, it's not going to do anything. This is just to appease you, right? So at the end of the day, TKO needs to step back, let the wrestling company do its own thing, let them figure it out. Okay, you interfering is showing everything that's wrong with WWE. Take nothing away from Triple H and them, and they're making their poor decisions. Perhaps I don't know, but the reality of it is, we're seeing how involved TKO is getting into the day to day operation.
yeah.
They need to stop.
That I can't.
That's that's it. That's all I got, bro. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out of defending the company I love. I'm burnt out defending wrestling. Because one, we have to deal with the people who laugh at us telling us it's fake. We get that. We know what it is.
Exactly.
But if people understand at the level that we get into with it, we're not talking about, oh, he threw a horrible punch. Oh, he did this. We talk about psychology. We talk about the things that make it work and how it's supposed to work and what doesn't work. We're not talking about the trivial things,
Yes.
right?
Right.
A lot of our conversations are based on things that most people don't even see. And I'll take it another level. You and I could sit in a room together and watch wrestling and see it through the exact same lens and understand it just by looking at each other.
Right.
But if we were to watch boxing together, you will watch it through a lens a little different than me because I'm watching it a little differently.
Correct.
In that case, I can look over at Chance Michaels and just nod at him and look at him, and we both see the exact same thing.
Right.
Right. And this thing with TKO with me, Bear, is really simple because I have to deal with them on the other side of my shows. Right. So having them in boxing, in wrestling, I'm TKO'd out, bro. But
Yeah.
here's the other problem. Here's the other problem with the Saudis, and this is going to probably screw over Vince too. They're starting to pull money from the sports,
Yep.
right? They're starting to pull the money from the sports. We got Mania announced for Saudi Arabia next year. I think it's a bad business move because you need to recover your hardcore fans and you need to recover everybody. You need to have this in New Orleans or in Indianapolis, then go to Saudi Arabia. You owe us fans a fucking good run now.
Yeah. And I think with what's going on in the world that they're going to get a chance to make up. Now, if
Will
they
they
choose
though?
to, huh?
Will they though?
Yeah, they're like whatever pay
But
per
what
view
do
is
they
supposed to
care?
be.
But it's like you said, what do they care?
Right.
Right?
That's my point. That's my point. They'll have a chance, but with the way what's going on in the Middle East and everything, nobody is going to go over. They're not going to hold it there. They're going to have to postpone and let everything work itself out. Now, with that being said, they're going to be like, okay, we got to pivot to the states. What can we do? Where can we go? Or maybe London to pick it up or another country. But my point is they are going to have the opportunity this year to make amends.
Well, they're gonna
Let's see
have
if
to.
they
They're gonna have
will.
to do something. But I mean,
That's the thing.
it's
If they
wishful
will.
thinking. It's wishful thinking, man. I
If
swear to God, if you, I don't like saying that. I take that back. I'm sorry, God. Uh, you know, but I swear, it's like sitting on Christmas now, and you see a box, and you want it to be a PlayStation, and it's the same size, it's the same dimensions, it's everything. But when you open it and it's not a PlayStation, you know what I mean? That's
oh
where
yeah.
I'm at right now. Like, okay, are they going to fix it? Are they going to change things? I don't think they are because they're just like, we talk about ivory towers.
Yeah.
This tower is so high in the sky, guy, that they can't even see what's happening down there. You know,
Well,
like
and I will say it like this. They see it because if they didn't see it, they wouldn't have let Pat get away with what he said. They wouldn't let Cody get away with what he said. They wouldn't have let Punk get away with what he said. They see it. It's what they choose to do about it is the thing.
I
If,
think
like you said, they necessarily don't care about the fans. They're caring about their bottom line. Now, strategy in a company. Oh shit, we're starting to lose it. We're starting to lose it. Now we got to generate something. Come on, guys. Who we need that idea. Let's go. Let's go.
every show on ESPN to this point has been a letdown for them.
Oh yeah. That's why they had to stop rating the shows
But no,
because
think about it, dude. If you're ESPN, okay, and you're looking at what they're serving you every month, you're guaranteed one meal a month, a filet mignon, and the top of you fucking expect gold on your steak, gold flake on your steak.
and it's looking like
WWE keeps Ubering them fucking McDonald's.
no, they're not even doing that. They're
Oh shit,
giving
what's worse than McDonald's?
they,
Arby's?
no, it's worse. They giving them food that they're serving to the Marines in the Middle East right now.
Oh, Tetra Packs, huh?
Man,
Oh
they,
gosh,
that's
the dry
outrageous.
freeze. They're giving them dry
They
freeze.
have the nerve to sit there and tell them we don't have the money.
Well, look, here's the other thing. And now we have, and I'm going to just shift gears a little bit, staying in the same vein with TKO, this White House show that they're putting on. It's horrible. It's not a bad card if you're a UFC fan. It's a hardcore fans card. Okay. Real fans of that sport can look at it the way we look at a wrestling card and go, oh, you know what? This isn't that bad. But the casual fan is looking and go, well, where's Connor? Where's Nate? Where's this guy? Why are we having Ilya Taporia defend against this guy?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you see what Netflix is doing in MVP. And I'm telling you, man, those Paul brothers, I'm not a fan of Logan, but Jake is killing it. I give credit where credit is due, man. This man has done something amazing. The card that he's putting on is the White House card that people want. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, Mike Perry, Nate Diaz, Francis Ngannou's on that card. Tell me,
So let me ask you this.
ask me.
Would WrestleMania have been better if they would have had Stone Cold there, The Rock there, The Undertaker there. Would
Oh,
it
yeah, yeah, it would have been 100% better because those are guys that we relate to and we translate to. But then people will complain, oh, well, why are you not giving younger talent an opportunity? Why are you not doing this? Well, guess what, man? WrestleMania was all younger talent. WrestleMania was all, current roster people, and you still weren't happy with that. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Having
well,
Stone Cold come out would have been awesome. Absolutely. I mean, for me personally, the best part of WrestleMania was Danhausen.
okay. If if that's the case, and I understand you damned if you do, damned if you don't, but I'm not saying that the younger guys were the issue. It was the time and what they gave them to work with
No,
was
no,
the
no,
issue.
no, 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 no. I get that. I get that
And,
completely. I get that.
and then Stone Cold would have came, they would have gave him fucking 15 minutes of, oh, hell yeah. What? What?
But the crowd would have loved it. That would have made them happy.
You cannot keep, that's just like serving the same meal over and over and
No,
over
I
again.
get it. I get it.
And,
But I
and,
mean,
and
it's
you
like,
don't, you got to get that cooking in for the right. So, like, okay, Oba and Brock, they did that. That was a perfect setup meal. They do the steak though. Okay, that's getting, now we need to start getting the vegetables there.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And see, that's the problem. You cannot do one thing, a quick temporary fix.
No, I
And
get that. But they didn't though, Bear. But they didn't. There were no Stone Colds.
but
There
and that's
was
that's my point. And again, even with this being an average WrestleMania, I'm more appreciative that they gave younger talent chances to
absolutely. And this is
build.
where we're going to see it now. Like, look, okay, we have a lot of the people that we thought were going to be in some big spots at Mania back now. Right. So now we're going to see, I believe, the Bronze, the Obas, the girls division, whoever comes up and things like that. We're going to start to see change now. I really believe it. I mean, you got to keep in mind from January to April, everything is focused in one vein, right? And now it's open. Roman says he's back. He's not a part-time champion. So
Yeah,
let's see how that plays out, right?
yeah,
So let's see how that goes. So let's see where they go with it. Because I mean, really, realistically, you got Gunther there. You can have a great program with him and Gunther, right?
yeah,
Oba's there too. So there's two good programs that are fresh, real fresh. Because Gunther and Roman have not really crossed paths at all.
right.
So that's going to be fresh. That's going to be something interesting to see. Okay. Him and Oba, that's the new Brock. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great little feud too. And Roman, the way he's cutting promos, and even I implore people, you're not a fan of the post show, go watch Roman on the post show, man. He had me captivated after watching wrestling all weekend. I was captivated by what he was saying. Right. So, I believe we're going to get some good stuff here, man. I'm an optimist. Okay. We're going to get some
Yes.
shit. Absolutely. It's not wrestling if we don't get something stupid. That's a given. I don't care what generation you're a fan of. We got stupid shit throughout the whole time,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So, people have short memories, people have short attention spans and whatnot. And it's like you said, but I remember you saying it very clearly on both nights, last night and Saturday night. It's what have you done for me lately? Right. And I believe that to be the case. And as we go into the new year, as I always say, WrestleMania to WrestleMania is the new year, right? The clock is reset, except for the first month, because we're finishing off all our goodies and leftovers and stuff like
All right.
that to tie everything away. But I'm excited to see where everything goes. Okay. And
I'm
where we're gonna go with everything now, right? I'm curious to see what Randy and Cody bring next.
yeah. Of course I'm optimistic, but I'm
Well, look,
also
coming out of the Randy match, I look at it this way: Randy is more of a heel now than he was even going into the match.
yeah. He's the old school Randy that everybody's been clamoring for.
Right. And we got him at the end. We
So
got him right after McAfee messed up the 3 count. He emerged. Okay. If you want to talk about storytelling in that ring at that moment, if you look at Randy's eyes and his facial expressions when Pat couldn't hit the 3, that switch flicked and the legend killer came back. Now, this is where psychology works, right? A lot of people don't see that aspect. A lot of fans don't pay attention to those fine, minute, little, tiny screw that changes everything. And that's the psychology piece that I'm talking about. So that's what made that moment special because we saw him emerge. It wasn't physical, but you saw it. You felt it. He gave you that. Okay, he's back. He took
but
up
here
McAfee.
so now the problem lies in where do we go from here?
And this is
Again,
why we tune in on Friday night.
is well and exactly. Again, I'm optimistic. I'm willing to give them the chance because that's what we do. But I'm not naive also.
No, neither
Uh,
am I, brother man. But
no,
I
no, no,
always
no.
go in.
And what I mean by that is I'm optimistic but still skeptical.
Oh no,
Let me
100%. You're guarded. You're guarded. I get it.
and that's all it is. And then again, for me too, there should never be a bigger talking point than WrestleMania. And you can argue this year that AEW had a bigger talking point than WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, if it was strategically done, or or if it was
Or,
just something they
or,
decided and didn't even realize what they were doing at the time, but I have to believe there was some strategy involved in it. Like it's WrestleMania week. How do we get some of the attention away from these guys? Oh, I know. Let's do a major title change, a la Mick Foley on Raw, and get people talking. And they did for a couple days. I think it died down eventually, right?
yeah.
But let's talk about that really, really quick, and then let's wrap this puppy up because we've logged a lot of hours, brother. And this weekend we really worked hard,
Yes, sir.
right? So there was just a lot going on, and we were doing different things and stuff like that. But AEW Darby Allin, congratulations, Darby. I will say that. Congratulations, man. You won your world title. I have no problem with the title change on a Wednesday night that makes viewers think, oh, these things can happen on regular TV. I want to tune in. But I am of the school of thought that it was the wrong guy. That's just my opinion. I don't but I'm happy for him. I think that should have happened a year ago. I think it was a little too late. Some of that luster was kind of washed away. People, I feel, online aren't giving him his just due because they're already looking ahead to see who's going to take it off of him because they don't think he's really going to be champion. There was
Right.
just a feeling,
Transition.
a good feeling moment, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Trans
all it really was. And that's how, and I haven't seen anyone clap back at it. All I keep hearing, okay, well, he'll lose it to MGF in Long Island, and then MGF will lose it to Osprey in London. That's all I keep hearing. I don't hear about, oh, Darby's going to have this kind of run or Darby's going to have this challenge, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like it was a moment for Seattle. It's a moment for all the hard work that Darby's put in and how much he sacrificed his body for some of those spots unnecessarily. But if that's the payoff and that's the company saying thank you, congratulations, man. I have nothing against it. Right? Good for you. Um, I don't know why people are upset about it because it is AEW. This is what they do. This is how they think. This is their booking. I'm sorry. It's just what I've seen, right? I'm only commenting on what I see, and that's the way I kind of see it. But I don't want to take away from the man's hard work. So all respect to Darby Allin, and I hope they don't take it off of him. I hope they let him run with it now. You made your bed. Let's see what the boy can do. This is what we talk about, talking about the younger guys. Well, what? That's a younger guy right there that who could benefit from this. Osprey doesn't need the title. MJF surely doesn't need it. This guy needs it.
And again, I talked about this for weeks
Right.
that AEW has legitimate contenders for their title. And I like the feeling that you never know who will get that spot, and you can generally bring a good storyline into it.
Well,
And you did that with Hangman. Nobody expected Hangman to lose to Samoa Joe.
yeah,
Samoa Joe dropped it to MJF.
yeah.
Nobody really expected that.
No,
But you have different players.
yeah,
You got Swerve. You
yeah,
got Omega. You
yeah,
got Andrade.
yeah.
So you
But see,
have
that's the guy I would like to see step up in him and Bobby Lashley. I know Bobby's been injured a little bit, but like you said, like a new opportunity. But the guys that they have in place, it feels like a revolving door to me. You know what I mean? If it's not, think about what everyone's talking about online when it comes to it, right? That revolving door. Lashley's name's not brought up. Andrade's name's not brought up. It's Osprey, Omega, MJF. It's the same four champions outside of Darby that keep being brought up.
well again. This
Why
is
not do Andrade and Darby as a rematch?
and they may, and that's the thing about it too. That I get what you're saying as far as their revolving door. But again, you still have people you just with Bobby. They're talking about getting another member. They get another member. Bobby, he can go into the world title picture.
Yeah, yeah. Who
Yep.
was that one guy that they had in WWE? He just got released recently. Maybe it's him. Like
Recently,
the Hurt Business had Shelton,
Shelton, Bobby,
Bobby,
and Cedric.
Cedric Alexander. So I don't know where Cedric is right now. Maybe he's coming in.
TNA.
He's gonna.
No, he signed with TNA.
He did.
He's
Okay.
part of
Okay.
their
Okay.
main
Okay.
faction. I can't think of the name of the
Right.
faction.
But Bear, this is why I'm saying what I'm saying about the revolving door, and I'm tying it up to this. It's the same people that complain about not giving young talent in WWE a chance are the same people applauding the revolving door in AEW. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Like example, AEW fans, IWC will shit on Dragonoff and Brock Lesnar interaction, but are totally cool with it when it happens with I can't remember who it was, but the exact same kind of thing happened where the guy no sold anything and they're all clapping. You know what I mean?
I get where you're trying to compare it, where I understand that philosophy. What I guess I don't get
Sure.
is you have younger talent. Like let's go. How many you have Moxley who's been multi-champion.
Yep.
You have MJF who's
Yep.
been a multi-champion.
Yep.
You got Samoa Joe who's been a multi-champion.
Yep.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho hadn't won the title more than once.
Well, he won it initially. He's never had it since.
Right. Kenny only won it once.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I'm saying there's doors there for these guys, older guys who haven't had it. It's kind of like Roman. He hasn't had the belt in 2 years.
Right.
So it makes sense. Okay, he's due for a run, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I get that aspect of it. I totally understand what you're saying, Bear. But look, you know what? At the end of the day, fans are fans and they're beautiful.
Y'all
If you
family.
hate it, if you love it, if you're making a comment about it, that means you're watching it. Okay.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, hate it, love it. If you're commenting on it, well, here's what I have to say to all the haters, and then we'll wrap this up. Yeah. The fact that you complain and complain and hate and hate and hate and despise and deplore. Notice all the negative words start with D. Deplore and despise and detest. Right? What did the letter D ever do wrong to anybody to get all the bad connotations to it?
Donald Trump.
There you go. You know what I mean? The gingerbread man. Hey, he never came out. I was disappointed. I thought gingerbread man would have come on WrestleMania. He never showed up either.
And maybe if WWE has a little smart writer in that room, they will have him come out Friday, do all the.
Oh no! Hey, here's something really interesting, Bear. Well, I want to throw something at you here really quickly. All right, so as far as goes the haters and all the deploring and all that kind of stuff, blah blah blah. Very simply put, these people who hate everything are the same people that still tune in every show.
Yeah.
So really, shame on you for being duped over and over again. Then who's stupid? Who's really stupid? It's kind of like hating Brussels sprouts, but every night you're eating Brussels sprouts and you're complaining while you're eating them. Right? Now, wasn't it interesting? And because I'm using this, we're not political. Okay. We're not political in any way on our show. But was it really interesting to see the gear that Sammy was wearing? No one's really talked about it with the Arabic writing on the back of his jacket. You know, the tribute to his culture and whatnot. And I'm only bringing it up because of the general consensus of the world that isn't really opening their mind outside of what they're being told and fed. Having that look, do you think that set him up to be even more of a heel?
Yes.
Because that gear was really Arab.
I think yes, because they're using people's ignorance to.
There you go. That's the word, ignorance. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Right.
And you know, buddy, in well, I don't know, in darkest, deepest Alabama, saying, "Hey, man, look at that Arab."
And that's my point.
And to make it worse, he's a ginger Arab.
That is the oldest trick in the book.
Right? That's just true. But it wasn't that subtle, though. Isn't it subtle? No one touched on it.
It's so subtle that, like you said, nobody touched on it. But that's a great way of people help continue get that heat on you.
Right. And that's an example, Bear, of what you and I see right there.
Yes.
That's what most people would not notice.
Yes.
How many people noticed that Roman had gold wings on his Nikes?
Yeah.
Just saying. Little details that turn me on. You know, that's what we look for in wrestling. All right, Professor, I am the immaculate, badass Bobby Sampson.
And I am the confused, old, and sometimes arthritic Bear.
You know what, though, Bear? You being confused or whatever, I'll take that, Bear, any day, brother. Any day of the week. You call me at 3:00 in the morning from Tennessee and say, Samp, I need you. I'll ask you straight up, what car are we taking? Straight up, brother. That all being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the WrestleMania close. We didn't really talk about WrestleMania. Congratulations, Bianca Belair, by the way, before we get off the air. I called her right off the bat. I said, hey, man, she's glowing. Her face, she's gained weight. I said it. I didn't know she was pregnant, but I could tell.
Yep.
Right? There you go. So congratulations to her. The new EST is going to be emerging hopefully pretty soon. And you know what the good thing about it is? She's far along enough that we're probably going to get her before WrestleMania next year.
Or
summertime.
And one thing, bringing that up,
she's ripped still, man.
It's getting close to Naomi.
Did you already have it?
Huh?
Haven't they already had it? They already had it, right? Yeah. So it's going to be coming back pretty soon too. So that's going to be fun. So like I said, Bear, we have things happening. Okay, Breaker, Braun's healthy. Okay, we got a fresh Braun back. It's going to be fun to see what this guy does. Okay, it's going to be fun to see what Oba does. We're talking about young talent and getting the push. Let's go. We got the guys now. Everyone's back. They're healthy.
I got my lemon pepper steppers on. I'm
Dude,
ready.
I can't wait to see what he does, right? He, in my opinion, will be the face that runs the place on SmackDown, if not by the end of this year. This WrestleMania 43 is going to be very different. I guarantee we're going to get the likes of Oba, Braun, Lemon Pepper Steppers in those top spots, man. This is that transitional phase. It's like rebuilding. You still have your go-to guys, but now let's see what the young guys can do. They're healthy, and let's see what we get for the start of the new year, the wrestling new year. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Professor Bear. We're Professor and the Samp. We will catch you guys next Monday. Tonight on Raw, I don't know what to expect. It is supposed to be the Raw after Mania. So let's see what they do there. That's going to set the tone for the rest of the year. God, let it be good. So all that being said, guys and girls, it's Monday. You have the whole week ahead of you. Don't rush. Leave a little early. If you're stuck in traffic, just enjoy it. Turn on the radio, listen to your music. Take that as your opportunity, as your downtime, because most of us, that is our downtime in the car. Professor and the Samp are out.
They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. One's a historian, the other loves to chant. They talk about the fights, all the slams and lights. It's wrestling mayhem day and night. They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. Their takes are quite insane, the wrestling world's their game. They break it down.